to the final video of Book 1 Orientation. Part of learning cello is doing some fun things. So if you know Mother Goose, look up some historical stuff about Mother Goose because it's kind of fascinating. Turning rhymes into musical rhythms was something she did very well. There's some stories about her being stepmom to like 13 children. She married a man that had a bunch of children. And so part of their education at home, which I think was kind of the way everybody did it hundreds of years ago. There were some schools, but most of the schools were done at home within your own family unit. We have a bunch of, I would call them Mother Goose rhymes. And I'm going to see if you can recognize one of them and then see if you can hear what I'm doing and see if you can mimic this. So let's see if you know this one. So. Does that sound familiar to you? Tone, as far as the melody line goes, it's very similar to Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Same notes, different rhythm. A lot of music is like that. Now let's see. In our book, we did Hickory Dickory Dock. We did Peter, Peter, Pumpkin Eater. We didn't do London Bridge because there's a rhythm in London Bridge that we haven't learned in this book, but we will in the other one. But how does London Bridge go? London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. Well, let's see that first note. Let's see. It's actually B flat that I started on. So we're actually going to change it to, let's go to A. Since we're close to open A, let's try it. So if we go, London Bridge is falling down, what would be the next note? E. So A, B, A, G, F sharp, G, A, E, A, F sharp, E. Good. Now I would anticipate that you'll be like, whoa, how can I do that? If you can sing it, you can play it and find something that will be in the right key. Now we're not advanced. Maybe it's going to be easier for you if you start on an A or a D, an open D, an open G, or an open C, because we've kind of learned C major, G major, and D major. So it might be easier to do that. So London Bridge, you got, and you know the rhythm of London Bridge, even though we haven't learned dotted quarter eighth notes. You know the rhythm of London Bridge. London Bridge is falling, so. Good, so ear training. Now what about, we did Peter, Peter, what about Song of Sixpence? Song of Sixpence, pocket full of rye, 4 and 20 blackbirds baked in a pie. When the pie was open, the birds began to sing. So if you can sing that, see if you can find an open note that's close to that. What about Humpty Dumpty? Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. Well, that doesn't actually have like music attached to it that I'm aware of, but you can go Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. So he has a rhythm attached to it. It may not have notes. You can pretend you can make one up. What about we did Twinkle Twinkle. We did Row Row Row. We haven't done Three Blind Mice. What about Three Blind Mice? Three, see how they run. Let's try it. That sounds like it could work on an F sharp. Three blind mice, see how they run. Three blind mice, see how they run. We all went out to the So you can, through being able to sing and find the tone or the melody line of anything, whether it be in your video games, whether it be on TV, whether it be popular music, if you can sing it, then take a little time and see if you can pick out, if you can sing it, pick out those notes on your instrument. I will give you a hint that folk songs and nursery rhymes are easier to do that with than like I don't know, Eleanor Rigby or something might be a little bit tricky. But this is ear training. This is where you don't have music in front of you, but you can hear it or you can sing it, and then you pick it out where it goes on your instrument. Super important to do. Now let's take a minute to do this little sneak peek into book 2. So book 2, we've done sharps over here. Book 2 is going to introduce other keys like flat keys, which one flat is called F major. We also are going to introduce the dotted quarter eighth notes that I talked about in London Bridge. There's more rests, there's more accidentals that you'll learn, and you will learn second finger. So not F sharp and not C sharp, but F natural and C natural. And then accidentals more. So we had some accidentals that we learned that were sharps. So book 2 goes into more advanced stuff with still first position. Book 3 has your extensions in it and the beginning of what would be somewhat of some shifting stuff. And then book 4 has all your shifting from second, third, and fourth position up to the fifth position harmonic. And then the last book has thumb position, treble clef. I think book 4 also has tenor clef in it. This is to get you started. It's just the very, very beginning of playing the cello. But if you have this good foundation, you'll be able to move on and do the other things, and they come just as easy. Go back through the book, play it, make sure you've got this in your long-term memory, and you're ready to go on to book 2.